demo and gameplay and also review of the game Detroit Become Human. This is our first time going through, and this is Hero Darkness here.
This is Rich Numbers.
Valentine.
And we are all here to discuss the game Detroit Become Human. And so the first thing I'm going to do is load us up into the actual game and see what it's like to start the demo.
You know, one thing I actually like about this demo, like, I actually like this opening, to be honest. How Sizzling just flings that coin back and forth. I actually love that. It's so amazing to watch.
I think it captures your attention from the very beginning.
It really does. And then how did I actually like how it showed is the 1994 quarter, so it makes me realize that this guy's into detail and he sort of likes old things.
Yeah, I also enjoy about the game, and I know it's typical Quantum Dreams, but the interactive, where you can take a look and interact at things and actually take a moment and realize, hey, this is everybody.
I can look at this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I find interesting is some people miss the fish right here, and I love the whole
walk over to.
I love the whole hashtag save the fish that's been going on.
You know, I did one playthrough where I saved the fish, and the other one I leave it just to finish up the entire thing. If not, that was gonna bug me.
Yep. Well, hello David. Glad you can join us in. We're currently going through reviewing and discussing about a game coming out for PlayStation, Detroit Become Human.
Please, you gotta save my little girl. Wait.
Now, one thing I found out today as I was watching some YouTube videos, David Cage, the writer for this game, mentioned the triangle on the android's chest is actually required by Android's bylaw to wear that. So the triangles that they have to by law have that.
Just so people know if they're androids. That would make sense. That's probably why she was able to tell real fast he was an android. Now, what I did actually do interesting is, one, what you're doing right there was pausing it and then showing us the what happens with the thing. How you can freeze time and look at everything. But two, it's also the conversation you're about to have with the captain.
Captain Allen.
Yeah.
That there.
I'm the android sent by
like you can. I tried many different times actually trying to see if I can get any other outcome. He just doesn't care. I'll squat about that thing. So I look at it sometimes like with one of the endings. I'm not gonna say which ending because I don't know who all played the demo. But yes, we all get a review. But I wanted if you so choose to get that ending, I can talk about it then.
Does it matter?
I need information to determine the best approach.
But how? Like I wish in one of the endings, he actually
have you tried its
doesn't die.
deactivation codes?
The first thing you tried.
I hope, but that's not an option.
Listen, saving that kid is all that matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I also like how the scene here, it doesn't.
I'll take care of
you go from a 50% chance of succeeding down to 48% chance automatically.
Now, one thing I do love, and it's what I'm about to do, is when I'm analyzing this. Now, this right here, where I'm analyzing it, this is something that only Connor can do. The other two androids that we play as, Kara and Marcus, that's the only one. I do love, though, how it tells us the type of gun, the capacity that it has, and the overall barrel.
17 magazines. 17 rounds. Not 17 magazines, that's a lot. 17 rounds.
Well,
I was actually curious, you know, if you draw it out long enough, would he actually, because you know, when you get to the points, you can see how many shots he has used so far on average. So I was like, I want to kind of get to a point where does he actually run out of ammo? Thus I know the gun's empty.
So he took the father's gun. Now, what I find interesting is how I can take a look around at what's happening. Now, some people, me personally, I like this, what I just did with Connor. It makes, to me, creates a Sherlock-ish type
feel.
moment.
That though, with me, I enjoy that. Like when you go investigate one of the bodies, I'll explain what one of my friends did. To explain more about this friend when you get there. Well, one, I love what you're about to do with that. I can use this touchpad right here. That there with me was actually quite fun. How
Well,
makes you
that
feel
actually
as if you're doing
sticks
actions.
with Quantic Dream's game style. Is you use everything with the controller. In Heavy Rain, you actually have to shake your controller at some parts, and you use the touchpad. You use everything in the controller to do stuff.
I like that aspect about it, how it's very interactive with the controller and the, you know, combos you have to do to reconstruct a scene.
So, Valentin, what are some of your thoughts? Like when you first load in and you were first playing it, what was your initial reaction to things?
I thought that it was brilliant in the graphics. I really like puzzles. I'm good with puzzles and trying to figure out different choices for different scenarios. So that was something I was really looking forward to. But to be honest, I didn't even notice the fish the first time. You had to tell me about it, or else I would have walked past that fish probably every single time. But I liked how
easy detail to miss though.
it is. It really is. And there are several things that, you know, you have to pay attention to that are tiny details, but you know, they can affect the entire outcome of, you know, that scene.
You know, and it's this scene right here. My friend he went in. So a little backstory about this friend. When he plays Mortal Kombat, he would go in and do the different fatalities and then examine the fatalities and everything. He got details. He did one fatality where the person got clean in half. I was like, let's go look at the organs. So one right here when he's getting shot, he would pause exactly when the bullet got. So I was like, I don't think that's right there in the lungs. That looks more right at the armpit and everything. So I went back and forth and find every location he got shot at. He loved that detail. I can go and go back and forth, back and forth. And my friend also says this game also reminds him a little bit of Batman Arkham Knight. I haven't played that game, but he loves this interaction he can do with the detective. Imagine how his skill about analyzing his personal skill reminds him of Batman Arkham Knight.
I think it reminds me of Until Dawn, especially all the controls on the controller.
And then you talk about that level of detail. You see here the SWAT guy just got shot. There's the trail of blood right there with him being pulled back. And I can follow where he was pulled back to. All the way right there just by following the blood. If I missed that interaction.
Yeah, and then he sits there. See, because so far what we've seen, he has used at least 3 shots. 4, because he just shot that officer. So he had a full clip, he's down to about 15 shots that we know about. Again, if he had a full clip. But I also like how you don't have to do every single interaction. Now from the get-go, if you really wanted to, you could just walk down and start negotiating. But it gives you, but I love how it hesitates. How like, do I actually want to go out right now, or do I just want to stay inside? I don't want to stay inside and keep investigating.
I kind of want to hear Rich's thoughts when he first picked up the game and when he first played the demo, because both Val and Rich here only know about this game because I've been talking about it. Now, Rich was aware of it because of E3 a couple years ago.
Yes.
But he wasn't sure.
I liked the idea of the game. It was a cool concept. But because I always like playing games for my little thing about me. I hate role-playing game. Woohoo, last scene, I can make one decision that affects the outcome. I don't like games like this. And from what I have played through the demo, those actions I can do, and that can affect everything. Because those an act when he gets outside that story later on. Only 2 endings won't affect the overall story later on, which I find quite interesting. I like how he always gives like, okay, you want the gun, but do you want to take the gun? It gives that reassurance, yes or no. Do you want to do this stuff?
No, one thing I found cool, I don't know if any of you did this, but you can actually stop what you're doing and watch the news.
Watch the news.
And watch
I did
it.
that. I did that. I didn't watch the entire news. You say, okay, this is wasting time. I have other things to do. Gonna watch the news, so I'll stop watching it. But when my friend played it, he went and had it start looping to see if it does anything else. But I love the interaction this game has.
This right here doesn't do much, but I think it's super cool. You can come here and turn off the stove and realize the family was about to have dinner.
Just that little information to know what was happening in the house. To explain why this stuff happens. The balance out dinner. The girl was in her room listening to music. The mom was cooking dinner. And then the android realizes it's being replaced. He walks over, got the gun, and then all this happens.
Stay back!
Now, fun fact right here, I love how it takes much time he forces you to go out. If the captain forces you to go out.
So,
Let me know. Friends also really like this aspect right here, you know. Yes, it's nice and set up, but when you go greet him. Like, no, what if we don't press the button? It auto-selects manually. I never did a run through to see what happens. I never pushed the button and it got. I should have, but it'd be interesting to see what happens. This negotiation scene is actually quite interesting.
But you need to trust
Because
me.
I actually have gone out there once without talking to anyone and got a good ending. I had a friend that went out and got a bad ending. Because there's one action you can do that forces you to it and have you one or the other ending.
I don't have a gun. You're lying. I know you have a gun.
The first time I ran through this
I'm telling you
demo,
the truth,
I
Daniel.
tried to stick
I came
to
here unarmed.
as authentic as I could about myself, like what I would
They
do
were going to
and
replace
how I
you,
would
and
choose
you became
in the
upset.
entire demo.
That's what happened.
And
right?
it was probably like one of the better endings, but like then it was so hard for me to channel the inner like
Something
jerk
to throw away.
to get the other endings so that I could unlock all the endings in the
He's
demo.
losing blood.
I had to like go
If we don't
against
get
my
him to a hospital,
nature,
he's going
and
to die.
I
All
even
humans die eventually.
there was a point
What does
last
it
night
matter if
where
this
I
one
was
dies
sitting
now?
next to Bo,
I'm going to apply a
and
tourniquet.
I kept choosing the compassionate answers, and he was like, "Give me the controller,"
Touch him and I
and
kill
he
him.
like got me past certain choices
can't kill
because
me.
he was like,
I'm
"You
not
don't
alive."
even think about it. You're just like, boom, kind, compassion." He was like, "You have to be a jerk." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Because what
I
you did
love how right
here,
there it tells you the like public opinion
know you
towards
and Emma were
androids
very
like
close.
is indifferent.
You think
I
she
think that's something we
betrayed
may
you,
have
but
to
she's
be
done
mindful of
nothing
as
wrong.
we're
She
playing
lied to
through
me.
the game.
I
yeah,
thought
like,
she loved me.
I'm not, like, you can't kill me, I'm not alive. I love that line in the game though. What that actually
She's
just
just
did
like all
about
the
saving
other
him,
humans.
if you look at the overall chart, when you get done with this, we can look at that chart more fully, that has an effect later on in the story.
You're defective, Daniel. There's a
Which I'm
problem
now
with your
curious, what does
software.
it
We're
do?
going to
So I
fix
noticed
you.
myself playing this game
Everything
3 or
will
4
be
different
okay. I don't
times
need to be
to see
fixed.
what affects
I'm
the story
working perfectly.
more than the other.
But my eyes are open now. I will never let anyone humiliate me again. Ever.
Because this negotiation with the party coming out to
I
you,
can't
you can
stand
do
that
everything
noise
perfect.
anymore.
And then you say
Tell that
one
helicopter
simple
to get out
thing
of
here
here.
shortly that can screw you over. That was actually the one link that took the longest to understand what I was missing.
There. I did what you
What
wanted.
am I supposed to say to get that one link to get all the different endings?
I'm your
To
last
have my
chance, Daniel.
flowchart
If
completed.
you let it slip, they'll kill you.
Because right
Let the
here,
hostage
if you
go,
would
you
have
have
picked
no other choice.
and start telling the truth,
I
he
want
would
everyone
have
to
not
leave.
cared, and there's no way of good.
And I want a car. When I'm outside the city, I'll let her go. It's out of the question.
Oh,
You're a
see, it's
machine,
this
you
right
have
here.
to obey.
Like,
Now put
okay,
the gun
I
down
was like,
and let
for
the
me
hostage
personally,
go.
what Val was talking
I've
about
spent my life taking orders.
was, I actually want him to actually let him to leave, or have him go back to
Now
factory
it's
to
my
find out
turn
what's
to
wrong with him,
decide.
instead of the alternative that was actually happening to him. Oh, you went for this ending instead. This is actually quite an interesting ending. And you didn't press the button fast enough, thus, oh, you actually did. That was actually quite surprising. I thought that you weren't going to fall off. I expected you to not make it in time. Now, the ending note that I got the first time playing through was the snipers. How the snipers took him out. I had a friend play that. I was like, what? No. It's like, why? That's not right. But I love how there's many different endings. But out of all the endings, the ending my friends liked the most was the flowchart opens up, is when you actually pull out and use the gun. He loves that ending the most.
Makes sense. Like, that is the most interesting ending to me, I think.
It also feels
And
like sometimes the most satisfying ending too.
yeah. Like, how dare
It's
you,
very...
like, throw this little girl by the ledge of this, like, high rise? Like, she's just a little girl.
Because, yeah, it's like the one you used again, it's like, he liked it, it's one, it's like, well, it's like either A, it's like, oh, and I lied to him. The other's like, yes, I lied to him, but me having the gun. But two, it's also the point where I can hold the gun and kill him, so I don't have to worry about him later, self-guilt, saying I lied to him. But if you look at this flowchart, you can actually press the triangle right here and show the world's status.
Only 5% of the world stats has left. Now my friend's stats, we've all saved the fish.
I actually, you probably should show your friends again. Oh, it says I'll save the fish. I left the fish once. I let it die.
It may be based off first playthrough.
It could be.
Like, maybe it doesn't update when you change your answers.
Could be. 24% wasted too much time. That was me my first playthrough. I didn't help them when we got the first time. Get the negation part, everything starts dropping slowly. Interesting. Wasted too much time was at 0%, so I wonder how this updates. But I love how the different endings, how there's only two endings that this happens, where either you don't die or the girl doesn't die, or you didn't fail the mission. That doesn't affect the overall story.
Well, actually, what's interesting right here, we're going to zoom out and show the 6 endings. And I'll go through again, we can discuss some more about more of our thoughts on that. But what's interesting, of the 6, 3 of them, 4 of them affects the game. 3 of them you live, but 2 of them doesn't affect the game. So, for instance, if I was to fail to reach the deviant in time, that changes the game.
Yes.
And that also counts as a mission failure.
Which then we don't know what happens to the android. So like, I'm willing to get one where I fail to reach, one where I end up dying,
and this one,
and the one which...
Yeah, it's going to be curious of how it all plays out. But
I wonder if I end up dying, I want the self-sacrifice one.
What I find interesting is where we get the school, this is it for Connor. And if this is our first mission as Connor, and we die...
And I can see this being the first mission for Connor.
Then that's it.
The storyline that ends.
Yeah, that's it for Connor, and that's going to have a huge effect.
To see what happens later on. Because I can see him getting interweaving with the...
And if you notice, if you save the wounded cop, it also affects the overall game as well. May not be a huge game changer, but it is a game changer.
It affects the story later on, which I'm now curious what will that affect, so I can see myself playing this game 2 or 3 times, just to see the different endings. But I love this demo. I love the way it feels.
Now, I want to get some of your guys' thoughts. I mean, we already talked about how awesome the graphics is. What are your thoughts? And we've kind of been talking about it right now, is the replayability of this.
Well, I played. If it's a role-playing game, I like playing at least 2 or 3 times to see how many different endings there are, and what can affect said ending. There's one game I played. It's BioShock. I know Hero doesn't know too much about the franchise. What about you, Val? Do you know much about the BioShock franchise? No? Well, with the BioShock franchise, it comes down to, in the first game at least, you have these things called little sisters. And they give you the power you need. You can either choose to save the little sisters, so it takes some of the power, or consume the little sisters, take all the power, and they end up dying. So you go throughout the entire story choosing either to save or consume the little sisters, and at the very tail end again, you fight the end boss, game ends. And then you get a set ending. So it's not what you do to fight the end boss, it's what you did to the little sisters. One ending, you leave, and you bring the little sisters with you, and you go over with them. The other 2 endings, it changes the voice of the narrator. You go, you harvest the little sisters, gain more power, and steal a nuke. But the voice of the narrator then changes from a harsh voice to a sad voice. Depends on what you did. If you harvest or save some, if you just harvest one, you get the bad ending with a sad voice. If you harvest and save, if you harvest all, you get the harsher voice. So it goes back and forth on what you do and how you do it. So I view that quite interesting. So like, unless I would play the game a couple of times anyways, because it's a very fun game, but the different endings. I like playing games to see all the different endings I can get, and then see what can I do to affect said ending, or is it fixed at said point. And I don't see this game being, well, you at the last second decided to do this, which gives you this ending. Yes, you still have that option here where you can still kill Connor with self-sacrifice, if you're that type of person. This right here, what you're doing is looking at Bastion, does absolutely nothing. My friend was so confused, like, wait, what? What was the point of that? That was stupid. But overall, I'm gonna play this game about 2 times, maybe more, depends on how long the story is. What about you, Val?
Well, I really liked how expansive it is, how many details there are. You kind of have to be on the lookout for those little icons when you play through the demo. I think that the story is going to be phenomenal. I know that the only other 2 choice-based games that I've played is Life is Strange and Until Dawn. And it feels a little more heavy on the Until Dawn part, but I like how you have to pull everything together and examine different details and kind of figure out what the best choice would be. I'm all for puzzles, and so I really like how it's just one big Sherlock Holmes puzzle.
That's actually the one part I like, is the fact that what I'm doing right now, examining and doing the whole room to figure out and construct and deconstruct what happened, makes it enjoyable. Especially for Connor. I think Connor's maybe going to be one of my favorite characters. I can't say that for sure right now because I've been able to play as Marcus and Carl. There's probably a good reason for that as well.
Well, I think his story too should be the most interesting one because you're the detective, so I can see you playing that storyline, and then after that storyline, let's say Marcus storyline, you come into after Marcus left and see what information you gather. I can have it because during that trailer you see Connor doing the trailer dealing with Marcus. You see Connor's face there. I can see Marcus' stories. There's the overlocked story, and these other stories will eventually merge into it and affect that.
The writer to Detroit Become Human Stage first is going to be the free game for people a chance to play that, and then with this game, at least the digital copy, you get the digital copy of Heaven Rain with it.
But I think overall, I like this demo. I'm actually waiting. I can't wait to get my hands on the game and actually play the game. But this game is actually quite enjoyable. I don't think I have anything else I want to talk about this game. I covered up everything I want to say about the game.
And what are your thoughts on, you know, we talked about the replayability. What is Val's thoughts on the replayability? Is she going to go back or are you going to go back and replay it multiple times over and be like me, try to get every single ending?
Well, I did that last night. I unlocked every single ending it has. When it comes out, I'm definitely going to replay it. I really like seeing what my choices are, you know, like what the conclusion is to my choices. So I'm gonna probably want to do it several times just to unlock as many endings as I can. I know for Until Dawn, I unlocked every ending, and Life is Strange, I unlocked every ending, and Life is Strange Before the Storm, I unlocked every ending. So it's probably going to be the same with Detroit Becomes Human. I'm a little worried about Connor, to be honest. Like the couple ending scenes where he just like coldly walks away is just such a stark difference from the emotion in the android that, you know, is holding a human
Don't come any
captive.
closer or I'll jump.
It's just, he's one to watch out for, I think.
Well, David Cage was explaining that Connor is, and even some behind the scenes stuff, even the actor who plays as Connor states Connor is a very by the books type guy. He does what he's programmed, no questions asked.
I've come to get you out of this.
Yeah, he's the one to watch out for.
Now, Rich was asking, you know, wondering about, I think there may be a possibility where we may interact with the other two characters as Connor,
She has nothing to do with this.
especially on the decisions that we make. Because the actress who plays as Kara says, I can't describe Kara because it's all up to who's controlling her.
No,
And
I don't have a gun.
playing as
You're
her
lying.
depends on the type
I know
of
you have a
character
gun.
Kara. Because she's
I'm
first
telling
starts
you
out as
the
this
truth,
very
Daniel.
naive
I
character,
came here unarmed.
and she changes as the story goes on.
They were going to replace you, and you became upset. That's what happened, right?
I'm excited that they put in a multi-character playability in the game. Like, you can choose to be different characters and, you know, kind of walk them through their choices too. I just feel like this game is so expansive. Like, they really looked into every single detail and made sure that everything was pretty perfect and on board.
They did the same thing with Heavy Rain. You can have characters not make it to the very end. I was playing through one section where you're playing as the FBI agent, and he wanted to get a hive because of the tool he was using to organize his going on to track down the origami killer. And you have a choice. Either you go to the bathroom or take a pill. If you go to the bathroom, then the FBI agent's going to appear as when you're playing with another character when he's giving information when his child goes missing.
Look what you did!
And
You were
then you
designed
also
to serve
have,
humans, not kill them!
or
What
if you
was I
take the
designed to
pill,
be?
he was not going to be
Their
present, so he's going
slave?
to miss that
Their
information
toy?
that he can ask
Just
later on
wanted
in the
to
story.
care about me. I
And so
just
this
wanted
is
to
sticking
matter.
true to Quantum Dreams type style.
I just wanted
choices
to be
matter.
someone.
And so I'm excited about that. Where my choices do matter. I appreciate the fact that there's
I
one
can't
scene
stand that
with
noise
6
anymore.
endings. And to me that
Tell that
allows
helicopter to
replayability.
get out
Allows
of
me to
here.
go back and play again and again and again until I get what I
And then
want.
the perfectionist. It then goes, it's like, okay, what do I do to unlock this little point on the scope shop? What do I need to do? So your perfectionists want every being on the flowchart complete, you'll go
You have
in
to
and do it
trust me,
over and over and
Daniel.
over again.
Let the
So you get
hostage
everything
go,
on the
and I
flowchart
promise
done, and then
everything
probably
will
get set
be
ending
fine.
since you can, by the looks of it, reload that
I
checkpoint.
want everyone to leave! And I want a car. When I'm
I do
outside
like
the
the
city,
flow
I'll let her
chart.
go.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
Kind of what are you guys' thoughts when you got each of those endings the first time? Especially the first time you played through it. What were your initial reactions to it?
I was like, okay, well, that just happened. And I was like, alright. Like this ending right here, the gun, it's quite cool, and it walks off, unclips the gun, gives the, tosses the magazine, gives the officer the gun, and he like, looks at it like, and I said, none, I like you, you're pretty cool. I like what you can do. You take care of that yourself. So my man didn't have to, like I asked you to.
I remember feeling like, okay, what's next? You know, after I finished the first ending, I believe it was the one where the little girl gets saved. Connor doesn't get shot, but I lied about the gun, so he like gets shot at by the sniper. But I was pretty happy for that ending because everyone still lives. Like even the android that went crazy, Daniel, he's still kind of alive-ish at the end.
He's
And
right. But he can still be reconstructed, supposedly.
right. And so for me, I felt like that was the best ending because everyone lived. And so I was not surprised, but also really happy that I got that ending right off the bat. And I definitely like gained his trust like 100%. And so I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the chapters in this game and the different characters that we get to know. Something tells me after I finish the game, I'm going to be like, man, when are they making another one?
I wonder what happens if I do this instead.
Yeah, I love how
and
the
like, that's
game
what
is
I'm looking forward to the
self-contained.
most. Because I know me and her talked years back, because me and her has been friends for a long time, about we want to make a game where our choices affects just about everything. And this game does what we sort of imagined.
Because
And that's one
what's
reason.
cool, this is a little fun fact, this game has a 2,000-page script.
Wow.
Average movie film is about 100-page script. This is 2,000. Between 2,000 and 1,000 pages. I'll find that article and put that in the description once we're done with this broadcast. And what are your guys' thoughts? And will this be like
Don't
the
come
other
any
Final
closer
Fantasy
or
games
I'll
where you can go
jump.
back and replay the chapter, get the various endings, but have that not affect your story? Or are you going to play through one time and then go back and play it again, but try to get the different endings?
I'll probably go
My name
back
is
and replay
Connor.
some chapters so I know how to
What
get
about you?
the different endings.
What is
When I
your name?
want said endings,
Daniel.
I know how to get said
That's the
endings.
name they gave me.
But at the
Stay
same time,
back.
I'd rather go in blind again the next one and see if I can get it.
See, I'm more of an organic player. Like, I want to play through it all completely once without, like, going back or, like, changing my answers.
I'm not
It's like,
going to hurt
it's
you.
like a test to me.
I
Like,
just want to talk and
it's
find
a
solution.
competition within myself.
I
Like,
don't
I'm
wanna
like,
talk.
okay, you know, like,
too late
I don't
for
go
that
back,
now.
I don't change my answers,
too
I don't
late.
affect anything. I don't know anything about the other
There's no
endings
way out,
and just
Daniel.
play through
What you've done
once.
is too serious.
And
The
then
only question is
after
whether
the
or not you
second
take
run,
another
I'll
innocent
probably
life.
do the first thing and go
It's not
through
up to you.
and play
I'm
for the
holding
different
all
endings
cards.
and
If I die,
expand from there.
she dies. You hear me?
Yeah, and I think that's like one way that I like to play. I like to play through knowing,
Are you okay,
not
Emma?
knowing the other endings, and go back and play it a second time, third time,
Nobody's going to die.
until I get, I'll
Stay
try to
calm.
get all the different endings
Everything's
and see
going
at
to
what
be
point
fine.
does my decisions matter. And it feels like it's very important at the
Listen,
through all of it that your
I
decisions
know
are
it's
going
not
to matter.
your
Some
fault.
are probably more impactful than the others.
these emotions you're
And
feeling are
how
just
do you feel like
errors
you
in
can
your
relate
software.
to the characters?
No, it's not my fault. I never wanted this. I love them. You know?
It comes down to this situation and
But I was
everything.
nothing to them.
We're talking about different endings,
Just a
and man, I'm
slave
playing
to
a
be
game right
ordered
now
around.
called Persona 5, and I know that has at least 3 different major endings,
can't stand
and then
that
various
noise
different game
anymore.
level screens.
Tell that helicopter to get out of here.
But it comes down to, isn't, you may, spoiler
I
alert,
don't think
if
they
you haven't
listen
played
to
Persona
me.
5, when you're in the interview, if you, well, it all comes down to what you say when you're in the interview. If you say something
You
wrong
have
in
to
the
trust
interview,
me, Daniel.
it gives you a second
Let the
chance to make sure,
hostage
is
go,
this
and
what I
I
want to
promise
say?
everything will
If
be
Right.
fine.
yes, you're then going to get one ending.
I want everyone to leave.
Then you have then after you fight one
I
final
wanna
boss
go.
fight, you can either
When I'm
accept
outside
one
the
ending,
city, I'll let her go.
or you then proceed to the final boss fight, which
That's
is very
impossible,
hard and
Daniel.
really difficult to do,
Let the girl go,
which then gives
and
you
I
the
promise
true
you
ending of the
won't be
game.
hurt.
But thus, it's
don't
not
wanna
just
die.
one choice that affects it. You made a bad choice, but you don't know when you made a
You're
bad
not going
choice
to
to
die. We're
destroy.
just going to talk. Nothing will happen to you. You have my word. I've spent my life taking orders. Now it's my turn to decide.
I'm really
But,
excited to see where the characters go. Like, as far as, like, does Connor ever become more like Daniel? Does he ever lose his cool? Is he ever going to get broken? Like, I think I'm really looking forward to the different depths that they take us with the characters. Especially with a 2,000-page script. Like, that's a lot of script. So, I'm pretty excited about it.
It's definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You have anything else to add, Hero?
No, I just feel like this game is going to be well put together. I know some people are skeptic about it, and some people are voicing their concerns about why we should be worried and concerned. And I'm one more like, give the game a chance, wait for it to come out, and go, and just let it play out. Maybe David Cage has learned a few things about writing since his last game with Heavy Rain, and he can make it better and have it flow. And because each character, especially Connor and Kara, depending on how you play, they can become more deviant. And I feel like the characters can be very relatable, and I know they're going to touch on some sensitive topics, and I'm curious of how that's going to play out and how that's going to affect everything. And I just feel like this game can deliver, and for it only being $60 for the single player game, and only spending an extra $10 for a digital deluxe to get Heavy Rain and a dynamic theme and the soundtrack to the game, that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. But if you're one where you like to wait and then wait, we'll I know the three of us are probably going to spend a lot of time playing through this along other games, and then probably after we play through it and we think about it some more, probably do another video. May not live stream it, but probably do another video discussing and giving our honest review. And so on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being really, really good, or you would recommend other people to play the demo, where would you rate this at?
Considering I have about three or four of my friends already played the demo, mine has to be up to about at 5. I haven't played the demo just to see the reaction to it though, just because I know everybody's going to have a different reaction if they play the game differently. Because I want to see what they would have done.
Well, y'all are my only friends that really play PlayStation. I usually get the odd look of, really? You know, when I tell people I play. So, but I think that I'm really going to enjoy it, and I'm going to go through it you know, at least once, if not more and more. And I'm hoping we can put out a review video about it when it comes out.
So I'm assuming that your rank's probably a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 on
Yeah, a
recommendation.
5 out of 5. I forgot about the
You
ranking.
would recommend. I'm gonna give it a 10. It's just not good. I found the off the scale.
Oh no, he broke the scale, guys. He's giving it a 10 out of 5.
Just not good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy again for other people, man. No, I'm not. I'm gonna.
It's really gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. 5 out of 5 for sure. Like, if you can, download it and play it.
Now, if you were to rank your demo, now I would give it probably about a 4 or a 5, depending on who I'm talking to and how I know him as a gamer. Now, how would you rank your overall demo experience? From the controls, did you feel like they were clunky, weird, or do you feel like it was pretty smooth and easily and quick to make the changes and adapt to it?
At first, it was a little difficult to get the feel for the things, but then it felt towards the end like it feels more like it's natural, nothing forced, nothing really out of the ordinary. You walk in a room facing said direction, the camera there, you gotta change your camera angle, but at the same time, you have to rotate your camera angle freely in a room felt nice, just because of the details that there was in the game.
I suffer from Monster Hunter syndrome, so I was clicking R1 to sprint a lot, and that's what happens in Detroit Human Steven. So it was a little, getting used to the controls, but once I mean, it's really pretty easy, and they kind of guide you through what buttons you're supposed to press where. So I thought it was really easily translated. And yeah, I think that the controls were fine. The camera angle was fine. I'm still kind of getting used to that, but 5 out of 5 for me. It was because of its easy accessibility.
Now, do you guys like or dislike the quick time events that happen, such as in the demo where you have to press X or pressing the different dialogue options? Do you prefer that, or do you prefer it was more fluid and you get to decide? Or you like the cinematic, interactive feel?
I like the title in it. Because it makes it feel more like you are controlling the situation. Instead of, oh, I got to do something, I'm in the middle of battle, I can walk away, come back 20 minutes, it'll be fine. No. It's gonna affect the game. Because I'm now curious, if I go in and not say anything, what would happen? I'll hold on doing that later tonight, hop on and actually play the demo without pressing dialogue options to see what happens. See what ending I end up getting. What would naturally Connor say?
I would challenge you and do it based off various informations that you have and see what...
Yeah, gather every single information and see what happens. Do both extremes. I will do that, and I will post in the comment section what happened. Just cause why not? But yeah, that's my answer to that question.
So you feel like both of your overall experience was pretty solid. And how would you rate the demo? Like the overall demo. If you were to say right now this is the game and its final product, what would you rate the game? If it
just
is like
based
this?
on the demo, it's nicely put together.
And since you gave that score, what can they do, in your opinion, to improve?
To make it better?
To make it better, what can they do? Just based off of the information that we have right now. I mean, story, we can't talk about this story, but what can we discuss now about the gameplay mechanics? Is there anything that we can do to increase that rating for you?
I guess probably make it easier to move the camera around. I think that's the biggest thing, is catching the camera around. Yes, I know you can press L1 to switch my quick camera angle, but that and moving around, because you move directly whatever direction you're facing using just the left Joy-Con and not the right. So I think just working just a little bit with the movement. But again, they followed the reasons why they set up the way it did. With the right Joy-Con being pure for interaction, using left just for pure movement did get a little wonky at times. And that's really my main complaint, is that Joy-Con movement.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 4.7. Those last 3 points being like the camera angle. It doesn't follow the traditional way you look around. And I felt like that could be more fluid. But I did really enjoy being able to scan the area to kind of see what you needed to do. And I liked how you had to look for those little spots to examine things. And the more you examine things, the more you had insight to the story. I like the idea of a robot, like the really powerful scene at the beginning where the mom's like, wait, you're sending in an android? Like, how could you? How could you? You know, like, that, like, tore at my heart. Because, like, she just doesn't want any more androids involved. And at what point is, like, in that kind of time period, in that kind of mindset, you know, don't you think it was a little inappropriate to send an android? But, like, at the same time, you can shoot at an android and it doesn't really die right away. So I just liked the detail, and I liked everything about it. So really, just those 3 points on the camera angle.
I would probably put my score in between there as well, a 4.5 or a 4.7, and probably along the same points. Maybe better fluidity. I do like how they improved their options from Heavy Rain, where it's easier to see your choices and your decisions. And I am interested in, right now I would give it a really good score, and the thing they can do to improve is probably the same points, just the camera, or make it a little more easier and just make sure they recenter the camera on you every time you walk into a room. And then just allowing us to know, hey, if you don't like the camera angle, press right now R1 to switch so you can see other parts of the room, so you can have a better examination. So that's our thoughts. Unless you guys have any questions you want to ask me.
I mean, do you feel like it lives up to its hype?
I haven't been following it closely. I have been enjoying what they've given me, and I'm quite pleased with what's been shown and what they've done. I know this game has been in the works for some time, and it's
What the fuck are you doing? You gotta talk to me or what?
and so that's what I would say, what I would give it. And so yeah, I feel like it's living up a little bit to the hype, and I don't think people are expecting a whole lot, but I was really anticipating that story.
Kind of like an underdog thing. Like, people aren't expecting much, so hopefully it blows them out of the water.
Yeah. So this has been a Salty Chillers not podcast, sorry, that was the other night that we did that. This has been a Salty Chillers Entertainment review on Detroit Become Human. We'll get this posted, we'll let the discussion below on your thoughts. So this has been Here Darkness.
Which numbers?
Valentine.
We're signing off, and as always, guys, stay salty.